Sir is working with at least 3 ATLs. He is an exemplary mentor of change. He has got a lot of experience about Atal Tinkering Labs. And children, as I told you, tinkering about experimentation. It's about a lot of things. And we will start with hydroponics. I've already attended Sir's session on hydroponics. So please start the session so that our children can benefit.
You are on mute.
Neha, please unmute, sir.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate every one of you here. Neha ji, please give me the slide sharing rights so that I can share my screen.
Yes, sir. Just doing it, sir.
Meanwhile, students, I would request you to contemplate upon one simple thing and write down in the chat box. Most of our discussion during the session would be through the chat box, and at the end of the session I will reserve say 10 minutes as per your requirement for question and answer sessions. So before we begin, I want all of you, if possible and if you wish to please write down in the chat box what is your professional goal, what you want to be, in just one word. Like if you want to be a pilot, you can write pilot. If you want to be a scientist, you can write scientist. Okay. I hope every one of you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Great. So I'm trying to put it on full screen mode. I hope now it is on full screen mode.
Sir.
Okay. Nehaji, you will have to help me out so that in case I need any support, like my screen is visible or not,
Sure,
am I
sir.
audible or not?
Sure, sir.
Instead of everybody replying, you can help me out in that.
I will do it, sir. Right, sir.
Okay. So once again, hello everyone. I will try my level best to conclude the session by 1:30 as per the timings. But please forgive me if we have to wait a bit more. To begin with, you to contemplate on one question, and that is what you want to be professionally. So many of you have already given me an answer saying that you want to be a pilot, a psychiatrist, a scientist. Okay. Just take 30 seconds and think sincerely what you want to be, because you are in 8th, 9th standard and soon you would be into the college life after say a couple of years or maybe a year down the line. You will go to colleges, and as the way India is changes that are happening into the education field also, the national education policy has undergone tremendous change, and we are going to see a wonderful future. I am optimistic about it. Okay. I hope everybody of you have thought a question that I raised. How many of you have a goal to become a farmer? If any of you really wish to be a farmer, let me know in the chat box. I will give you 30 seconds, because if you really wish to be, then it will be not a very hard answer for you. So correct me if I'm not wrong. Out of 130 participants, not all is it right, Nehaji?
Very correct, sir. 132 is the strength.
Yes. So if I say 30 must be teachers, still 100 students, and
Right.
none of the student want to be a farmer. Nothing wrong in it. Absolutely nothing wrong in it. It is up to individual what he or she wants to be in life. But let us contemplate and park this question here until we conclude this entire session. I my mentoring philosophy or my mentoring style is a bit different. I speak about science even from a philosophical point of view, even from a historical point of view, and even from a individual point of view, like what I have to learn out of science or what I have to learn out of whatever I go through in my life. Okay, so the question today that I have prompted you all with is a hard fact that none of us wants to be a farmer. And there are various reasons to it. Probably we have a very poor image about farmers, like they are not very wealthy people. It's not a very wealthy profession. You don't earn money. It's a very hard profession. You have to slog a lot, and you are dependent on the nature, rains, and things like that. And probably all these things come together and they demotivate us from trying out this innovative field. Guess if everybody in India starts pursuing different professions other than farming, okay, where will be the food coming from then? We all love to eat food, but when it comes to growing food, that's not what we would like to be. So let me introduce to the topic now with parking this question for the end of the session. I am son of a farmer from Delhi. My father was a farmer and I'm very proud of it. And this is the reason why this topic is so near and dear to me, and I love and I cherish talking about it. I studied with most of the wonderful colleges in India called top-notch colleges like Indian Institute of Modern Management in Pune. I did my MBA from there. I also went through a course at IIM Lucknow on corporate social responsibility and sustainability. I have graduated with a very rare subject, with only 4 colleges in India actually, uh, you know, encouraging the subject to be taken up, and that is defense and strategic studies. I did my honors in defense and strategic studies from Bhosla Military College in Nasik. I happen to be a ethics counselor trained by LRN USA. Professionally, uh, I have been HR leader, that is human resource leader with multinational companies like HB Fuller, Huhtamaki, Jet Airways, uh, Crompton Greaves, and many wonderful organizations that I really am proud of. Now coming to the topic, hydroponics. When I was working upon this subject, when I was preparing this presentation, we all prepare presentations with the help of Google. There is nothing new about me also. But there was a question as to how should I explain this topic to students? How should I encourage them to look at this topic and try it out at least once? Like for example, if out of the 100 students that are looking at this presentation, even if 10 students go back home and try it out, it would be my noble contribution to the growth of this nation. Okay, so let's start. I would like to keep it very simple, and my language in the presentation or the style of presentation is, that's the reason why, very simple, which you will find. So what is hydroponics? Anybody in the students can you please raise your hand, or maybe whatever the system at your end? Can anybody tell me what is hydroponics in simple words? Are you, I don't think you are new to this subject, because I can prove it that this is nothing new. We have known this since ages. Only the word is, crafted out in such a way that it looks like it's something amazingly new innovation by somebody. So can I have a student who can, in just simple words, explain us? Yeah, please let me know your name.
So my name is Angel.
Okay. What's your name?
So my name is Angel.
Okay, Angel. Yeah, Angel. Tell me, what is hydroponics?
So hydroponics is a type of a horticultural culture and a subset of hydroculture, which is a method of growing plants, usually crops, without soil by using mineral nutrient solutions in any aqueous solvent.
एंजल, आसान से शब्दों में बताओ, एकदम सिंपल वन लाइन सेंटेंस में, कैन यू आर्टिकुलेट इट?
यस सर. तो हाइड्रोपोनिक्स एक ऐसा टाइप ऑफ वर्टिकल एक स्ट्रक्चर है, उसको हम ग्रो कर सकते हैं प्लांट्स की तरह, यूजुअली क्रॉप्स में विदाउट सॉइल के.
ओके, कैन यू गिव मी वन सिंपल एग्जांपल फ्रॉम योर हाउस that is an indicator of hydroponics?
Sir, can I tell? My name is Tushar Bansal.
Yeah, Social, please, you can.
Money plant is an example in which hydroponics can be used.
Absolutely correct. Fantastic. Okay, so this is what I wanted to hear all. This is what is hydroponics. This has been happening in Indian households since ages, because we believe if this plant grows well, there will be a lot to your house. Devi Lakshmi will be, happy with us, and we will have a lot of money. I have created almost a jungle in my terrace out of money plant, and I'm still waiting for that money to come. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the example. Now give me another example, and that should be from the kitchen. If you have ever seen your mother.
Excuse me, sir. Can I tell?
Yeah.
Sir, onion.
Onion is a hydroponic. You can grow onion hydroponically, but I want tell me one recipe that your mother creates which is based on hydroponics, that is done at home itself. The main ingredient of that recipe is actually hydroponically grown.
Sir, can I tell?
Yeah.
Sir, sprouts.
Very good. So this is what it is. I think all of us have seen this happening at our home. मम्मी स्प्राउट्स को एक कपड़े में बांध कर उसको थोड़ा सा गीला करके रख देती है. 2-4 दिन में आप देखते हो वो कपड़े में से बाहर उसकी जड़ें निकलना शुरू हो जाती है. Isn't it? So my dear friends, do you think hydroponics is rocket science? कुछ अलग है इसमें? ऐसा कुछ है जो हम नहीं कर सकते? ऐसा कुछ है जो हम नहीं जानते?
No, sir.
Good. So if it is not rocket science, if you all think that it is very easy to do, and if we have been doing it since ages, let us now, become more bit skilled into it, and let's help our mother at home with our own veggies at home. आपने बहुत बार सुना होगा, pardon me for coming from English to Hindi and Hindi to English. This is because I try to make the subject more clear to the students. आज आप अगर देखोगे, if you see, pollution is a very big thing. Everybody in Delhi is really struggling with it.
Yes, sir.
When the air is polluted, when the soil is polluted, when the water is polluted. When I go to Delhi, I actually come from Delhi. I stay at Vasant Kunj. My village is Masoodpur in Vasant Kunj. I see, the water, the air, and the soil slowly and steadily have degraded to such a level that it is no more healthy, isn't it? Even now, there is smog in Delhi. So how can you have vegetables that can really be of good quality? They may look good. When I go to the local sabji mandis in Delhi, I find red sparkling tomatoes and brinjals as if they have been polished, uh, and they look really very good. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthy. Okay. So what is the best way? The best way to ensure that you are eating good food or healthy food is try to learn to grow your own food. Now you will say, for that you need land, for that you need space, for that you need a lot of resources, labor, money. I think no. For a common household like us, wherein there are, say, around, I come from a joint family, so there are around 10 members in our family, 10 to 15 members. I think even for a joint family of 10 to 15 members, you can try growing your own food or your own veggies at home without even taking more space, without taking even more resources. Yeah.
सर सर we can use pots to grow our own food like tomato, onion, and all of the vegetables.
Yes, I will come to that. I will definitely come to that. Yes, we can grow that. I have been trying it, and I have been successfully doing it at my home also. So let us see. Okay. So when hydroponics is not new to India, not new to Indians,
No,
can you give me a historical example which proves that we know hydroponics, or we have been champions in hydroponics since time immemorial? Pardon me?
Sir, sprouts.
Okay, yeah, what we have already talked about, we will not repeat that. Sprouts as an example is already done. Give me a new example which proves that we as Indians are masters in hydroponics. Can you think about another example other than money plant or say sprouts? Go back 1,000 years, 2,000 years, or maybe 5, which
Sir,
can,
can I tell?
yeah.
Sir, paddy was grown in water.
Yeah, but finally paddy is ingrained into soil. The base is soil. The growing medium of paddy is soil. I would like to have an example wherein the growing medium is actually water.
Sir, is it carrot?
No.
Sir, avocado.
Mm, I said go around 2-3,000 years back. If you love history, you can recognize a very easy example.
Lotus.
Fantastic. So as I said, I don't think so. If you see, there is a lotus flower.
Sir, can I answer?
Yeah, the answer is already there, beta. Somebody has also already answered it. It is the lotus flower. If you see the engravings in the center of this temple, there is a beautiful lotus flower in between. Now, if
Yes, sir.
we can engrave, if we can engrave lotus flower on stones in temples that you see, will it be very hard for us to grow lotus flower in the ponds? I don't think so. And that is why
No.
the best example is the lotus flower. Okay. And why the lotus flower? Why only I am talking about the lotus flower is because lotus flower is also there in our life, ingrained since ages. It is there in our yoga, it is there in our history, it is there in our culture. Any god that you see picture, there is a lotus flower in the hand. No puja seems to be complete if you don't offer the flowers, and lotus flower has been engraved into our civilization. And our civilizations, which earlier were thought that they are, say, the Saraswati, the Indus civilization, that is the oldest civilization that was known to us till date. It was said that it was around 5,000 years old, but no. Recent archaeological findings have shown that it was much before the world even knew how to lead their life out of the forest. We were a civilization already. We were so advanced. Okay, so this is the reason why also the lotus flower is known as our national flower. Now this is all okay. We have been talking about philosophy, we have been talking about history, geography. Now let us talk about hydroponics. How should we do it? How can we try at home? Yes.
Sir, how can we grow lotus at home?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Okay. Now
Okay, sir.
this is the most easiest method.
Coriander.
Yeah. Now please mute everybody. I would like you to focus upon, because we are looking at the technical aspects of hydroponics. Most easiest and popular household method for beginners. If you want to try hydroponics, if you want to learn it easily, this is the easiest method that is popular in Indian households. There you can take a basket, methi or coriander is the most easiest plant that you can grow. The seeds germinate very fast and you can see results very fast. We will definitely come to the technical aspects, how to do it, but we are looking at the examples right now, which you can note or which you can keep in mind whenever you are trying hydroponics at home. Okay, so there is a container in which you have the seeds, and then there is a container which has water, because hydroponics is all about water. So you need to supply water to the seeds, to the plants, and you need to provide space for the roots to grow. So this picture itself is an evidence as to how easily you can do that. There are other methods also. Some have tried even sponge. Now, if you look at the left hand side, you see sponge in the tray, wherein they seed in the sponge, and that is how they grow. Now you will say, why should we do that in sponge? Because first of all, it holds the seed. Second, it keeps the seed moist, and that is how it helps it to grow fast. On the right hand side, you can even see that people have tried growing in trays also. So therein you can see seeds in the tray, and then you can see various growth growth trays wherein there are various levels of plants. We will come to it how to do this, but right now we will focus on how are people doing it. These are another innovative methods. Some have used they have recycled the bottles that we throw, which leads to plastic pollution around us. So they have recycled the bottles, the water bottles that we buy and we throw after use. They have put in sponge into it, and the seeding has been done, and that is how they have created a kind of hanging garden inside their home. Somebody was talking about onion. Yes. If you look at the second picture in the left hand side, you see how innovatively people have grown onion. They have simply cut the bottom of the bottle, filled it with water, and placed an onion over it. An onion has a tendency to grow wherever there is water. Some have even used trays with pebbles. So the pebble holds on the plant. Like for example, if you grow certain plants which grow big, they need something to hold on to, something to support them so that they stand straight. So for that kind of veggies or that kind of vegetables, fruits, you can, like somebody was saying about tomato. The tomato needs support when it grows bigger. So that this is also a method. Some people have tried even thermocol.
Yes,
You can
sir.
see, I think they have grown brinjals in thermocol, and some have used egg trays. Now these egg trays
Sir,
are
I have.
actually made of paper. They are recycled paper, and this is the best example how you can use recycled things instead of throwing them. So very innovative methods. These are not the only innovative methods. You can look at, you can look into the Google and you'll find many amazing ways that you can try out very easily at your home. And this doesn't require any much of the space. You can use, vertical stands, or you can use horizontal methods to grow your produce. So let's come to the question, when it is so easy, when it is so simple, what are the easiest veggies that you should try growing? Okay, why am I again and again saying the easiest one? Because whenever you learn something new, you must find a way to work upon it which can encourage you. And we get encouraged when we see success happening, you know, maybe immediately or maybe in a short period of time. So when you try hydroponics, you must keep the things that I am going to tell you in mind. So the first one is coriander. It takes around 8 to 10 weeks to completely harvest after the seeding. These are the I mean, you don't have to slog too much for that. Once you have done seeding, you have to just ensure that the moisture is maintained and it is taken care of regularly. Second one that you can try is methi. It takes around 4 weeks, max 5 weeks to grow. Lettuce, 10 to 15 weeks. And very popular in Indian household, chana, that is gram. It again takes, it is like sprout, it grows very fast. So let us start practically trying to understand what all would be required for us to be successful in this hydroponics. Okay. The most important thing is you must have patience. Even before you begin, you must have patience, because farming or growing seeds needs care like a mother gives to her child. So you need to have patience. Some seeds grow fast, some seeds take time. It all depends upon what kind of area you are in, what kinds of seeds are available to you. But definitely, if you don't have patience, don't try it out. The second thing is you should love gardening. you should have that inclination towards, trying out new things. You should have that, liking for nature, and that is how you will actually enjoy it. Otherwise, after a few days, when the initial, enthusiasm settles down, instead of it becoming a fun activity, instead of it becoming a learning activity, you start feeling as if it is a burden on you, and the failure is then, the ultimate result that happens. So please don't waste your resources. Please don't waste your time and energy if you are not serious about it, if you do not have patience, and if you do not love gardening. Okay. Second step is you have to make a choice. Choice should depend upon how much time do you have. Like whatever you would like to harvest, do you have the time, energy, and the resources for it? Don't make a half-hearted effort that initially you are very enthusiastic, very eager to do it, but later on you understand that you don't have time, you probably do not have energy, you are very busy with your studies, or you are very busy with your extracurricular activities and all, and then this becomes a second priority. It doesn't take much of your time. Yes.
Sir, sir, can you tell the examples of fast growing seed?
I have already given the examples, my dear. Before this, the slides that I showed you were the examples of which veggies you should try. Okay. I will share this presentation. Ma'am will share the recording with you if you have missed it. I would request all of you to please park your questions so that the rhythm and the flow of the presentation is not, interrupted, because interrupted learning is never successful. Okay. So coming back to the point is that before you begin, please understand how much time in a day you have for this activity. My experience says it doesn't require more than 10-15 minutes or a half an hour in a day to seriously look into this. However, it requires mental preparedness. When you have to wait to see your seeds generating, you have to have patience. You have to take care of the things. You need energy for that. And please ensure that your energy level, your motivation levels remain, high, so that it leads to the success of the project. Coming to the resources, my understanding about hydroponics says it doesn't need too much of money until unless you want to commercialize hydroponics. Like if you want to grow veggies hydroponically to sell in the market, you can do this activity by using the utensils in your kitchen, the items in your house. You can simply reuse, recycle them, and that is all the resources that is required. Even I would not say that you should buy seeds from outside, because the seeds are normally available with us in the kitchen itself. We should only look at them. Like for example, if I'll give you an example. If I have lady fingers at home, and some of them are turned brown, like you can take out the seeds out of the lady fingers, keep them in sunlight for say a day so that it dries down, and after that you can use the same seeds to grow your hydroponic harvest. So resources are very minimally required. However, all depends upon you, your own enthusiasm, and the time that you give to the project. The key to the successful growth of seeds is actually the kind of container that you use. Okay. When I initially started, I learned this by losing my first batch of seeds. The container that I have used for the seeds did not have much space for the roots to percolate down into, and that needs to be ensured that please you use there are only two kinds of containers that are required here in this hydroponics. One is in which the seeds will be contained, and the second is through which you will supply water to the say plants and seeds and then the saplings. So you can use either a basket and a utensil. You can use a tray. You can use bottles that you see in the picture, but please ensure that the upper container simply rests on the lower container. Like it should not get submerged into the lower container. We are not going to submerge seeds anytime. We are just going to keep them up touching to the water level. Okay, and that is how the roots will grow fast. And if the roots grow fast, the saplings will also grow fast. Roots have a tendency, from your biology ma'am, you can check it from her, that roots have a tendency to travel towards water. Okay, it is it works like a magnetic principle. Roots try to go towards water, so you have to not submerge the seeds into the water. You have to just keep them above the water, touching the water level, and rest everything will be taken care of by the nature. I hope this is clear. I didn't get your question.
Where are you talking about hydrotropism?
Your voice is cracking. Can you please reserve your question for the Q&A session? We'll get to it.
Pranay, this is hydrotropism. I request students to please put up their questions at the end of the session. No interruption, please. Please, children, no interruption in between.
Now, how to select seeds? Simple household method in India. Very effective. Whichever seeds you decide to take, whichever of your choice, whichever produce you want to take out, just take those seeds, take a glass of water or a bowl of water, and just put those seeds into the water for 24 hours. If you are in a hurry, you can use at least 30 minutes for this activity. The seeds which are heavier, they will settle down in water. Usually this is what happens. And seeds which are lighter, they will float on the water. Now, what is that to do with our hydroponics project? Dear students, the seeds that submerge into water or that touch the bottom of the glass actually are not hollow inside, and they will germinate much faster than the seeds that are floating on the water. Okay, so this is the basic test you need to carry out before you start seeding the veggies that you want to grow. Keep this in mind. Don't throw away the seeds that are floating. Maybe you can make them a batch 2 seeds, or you can use them also. But this will tell you what kind of seeds, what quality of seeds you are actually using. And this will also give you an idea how fast the seeds will germinate. Okay. Now we are looking at this slide so that we can understand what is the role of water, moisture, and how good you can seed by taking into consideration the holding mechanism, holding catalyst of the seed. Some people, they have used sponge, as I have already shared with you. So they put the seed into a sponge so that it can, absorb water and keep moisture. Some have used cocoa peat, or even coconut peat. You have to just crush the outer covering of the coconut, and the powder like substance that you get out of it is the peat actually. So it is very good in containing the moisture. It is very good in maintaining a good level of temperature, which actually facilitates growth. What I have used is a tissue paper. When I try hydroponics, I put a tissue paper below the seeds, and then I cover the seeds with a tissue paper. Tissue paper is nothing but, it is just paper which after you sprinkle, it will get moist and it will hold all the moisture if you keep it in a place which is away from the direct sunlight. Some have even used pebbles. Okay, so you can mix pebbles and seeds if the plant that you are trying to grow needs strong founding, like it needs a foundation which can hold on when it grows bigger. So it is up to you absolutely how would you like to try, and I think these all things are easily available around our home. The biggest killer of hydroponics, and which damaged my project also when I started initially, I did not know, probably I did not do that research initially when I tried, is direct sunlight. And direct sunlight when your seeds are germinating. Because what happens is when your seeds germinate, the roots or the sprouts that you see, they are very tender, and direct sunlight actually burns them. They become dry, and ultimately, you can't grow them. So please take care that you do not keep your hydroponic plants in direct sunlight. At the same time, I would request you not to keep it away also from the sunlight. Keep it in a shadow region. Okay, you must have heard about in geography the rain shadow region. Like it is near to where the rain is happening, but it doesn't rain in that area. So I would say keep your plants wherein they get sunlight, not directly but definitely indirectly, uh, so that they can have their natural growth. Some have used light bulbs or growth bulbs, uh, and kept the hydroponic plants into a room, but I basically feel that you need to give a natural environment for a healthy plant. Okay, a substitute is always a substitute. It can never give you that kind of benefit, that kind of natural output what we can get through natural resources. So this is one thing you please keep in mind, and this will ensure that you don't lose your produce unnecessarily. Watering, I would say keep in mind that though it is a hydroponics project, that does not mean that you should always keep the plant submerged into water. You should always keep on watering them. No, anything too much is fatal. It becomes poison. So please ensure that you sprinkle on the top of the plant just twice a day, and not everybody in the home twice a day. Anybody, one person can take care of this, so that the plants have adequate watering, they don't have over watering. At the same time, you if you are developing plants which have a deep container with water into it, change it at least in 2 to 3 days. Otherwise that water will start smelling and it will be of no use. It will decay your plants, and at the same time fungal growth will start happening. Usually we have ROs at home. I would recommend don't use RO water. Use natural water that is coming out of the taps, because plants need nutrients, minerals. They will get it only through the water that you supply to them. And if you give them a water which has the low TDS around, if I'm not wrong, ROs have TDS of less than 80, then the produce will not grow that fast. It will be not that healthy, because low TDS water is like a dead water. So it will not serve the purpose for which you are doing this project itself. So keep this in mind. As you are students, one extra thing that I would always recommend you whenever you do any new thing in your life is to start noting down how you did it, what you went through, what is that you have learned out of it, so that you understand where you did mistakes, where you did the right things, what led to success and what led to failures. Okay, so take it in a professional way. Don't take it lightly that I have nothing to do because of the lockdown and let me try out hydroponics. Why don't you try hydroponics from a very serious point of view of learning something new, work as if it is a very serious business project. And let me tell you, you will be amazed by things that you learn out of it, and you never know in where in which phase of your life this experience of yours can help you out, can actually become a gold mine for you. Because I have brought certain success stories of students like you who eventually became pioneers in hydroponics. So in life, whenever you're trying to learn something new, be sincere into it, and most sincere ones always note down what they are doing, how they are doing, and what they are learning out of it. So maybe you can capture pictures day 1, day 10, day 15. If you are bloggers, you like to blog, you can put it on your blog how to start, how to take care, and how to harvest wonderful produces at home. And you never know where it can bring you to the limelight. Okay, so recapping what we have learned as steps to trying out hydroponics. If you ignore this, it will ensure your failure. Definitely, you can note my words. If you sincerely take care of these points, it will definitely lead to success. Try hydroponics only if you have patience and love for gardening, very sincerely. I repeat that again. Choose what you wish to grow. Do a bit of Google search to understand the growth cycle of your choice. When I tried my first hydroponics, I just saw one video somewhere. I really loved it, and I did not do any further research on it. I simply picked up some seeds, put it into a container, and started my project. And that is why I believe I could not be successful in that project, because I did not research upon what am I growing, what are the things that I should take care. Every plant is altogether different. They may look like all leafy vegetables look like similar, but the requirement of each produce is altogether a different, and you must take some time, at least say 15 to 20 minutes, and research upon it. Thanks to Google, everything is at your fingertips. So it all depends upon you how you would like to go for that. Choose the right seed germination container. Again, one is theoretical part of hydroponics. The other one is practical point of hydroponics. If you don't choose your containers wisely, you are not going to be successful. So please, before starting, take care that your seeds container and your water container both are compatible to each other, and you have ensured that there is enough space available for the roots to percolate down into the water. So don't hurry, think wisely, and then choose your containers. Seeds are key to success. I have told you, do the seed testing, simple water test, and ensure that the seeds that you are seeding, they are of good quality, so that they germinate faster and eventually you get a faster harvest. I hope all these points are very simple in nature, very easily can be understood, and very easily can be worked upon. Now, if there are any questions on these steps, I can take that. After that, we will start with the second part of the session. I can take a couple of questions, Nehaji, if there are any.
Yes, sir. So one second, children, 1 second. I would like to invite Principal Ma'am to please invite students for the question answer. Sir, I'm sure some students have real good questions to ask during the session and after the session. So, ma'am.
Yeah. Uh, your session has been really very, very interesting, and I must say that Mr. Malik, just as the way you said children should have patience when they take up hydroponics, I must say you also have a lot of patience to explain this concept. You have taken all the time and all the patience, and hence the lesson has been very, very captivating for all of us. I will request Udit of class 11th to put up his question, please. Udit, please unmute and speak up.
Yes, sir. Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir,
Very good afternoon.
actually, why are we seeing hydroponics? Means, is it only an alternative, or are we seeing a future in it? Because there is no such advantage if I see.
Okay, then you have to reserve your question for a practical answer, because the second part will actually tell you what is the difference between farming in soil and using hydroponics. And even after that, if you are not convinced with what you see on the presentation slides, then I will like to answer your question.
Ankur, you have any question you could ask sir before we proceed to the next part? Ankur Pal.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon.
Sir, my question is that can hydroponics be used to grow large trees which are on the verge of extinction, or some trees that are very prone to diseases?
Okay, I would like to first answer the second part of your question, diseases. Okay.
Okay.
Most of the diseases that come into crops are actually coming from the soil. Okay. If you speak to a biology teacher, or you Google, or you read the books, you will understand finally a plant is growing where? it is growing into soil, and soil has many things into it, both good and not so good. So hydroponics to a very large extent addresses the disease part of the plants that happen due to the medium of growth. Like soil is the medium of growth, whereas in hydroponics water is the medium of the growth. Now until unless you use dirty water, I can give you an example. I was in Mumbai with serving with a company, and I used to travel with the Mumbai local trains, and I used to look outside the window, and there was a drainage, you know, at the side of the tracks, and I used to see people cultivating, all types of vegetables into that drain. Now, if you use that kind of water, definitely the diseases will only increase, it will not decrease. Okay. I don't think there is a human being anywhere on the planet who would like to grow in his house using dirty for the produce that he wants to eat or for the produce that he wants to sell in the market. So psychologically also it doesn't allow you to use a medium which is unhealthy. Technically speaking, you will tend using water that you yourself drink, okay, because that is a habit at home, that when we use water in kitchen or water in gardening, we naturally use the water that we drink. So the diseases are much less because the medium can be seen clearly. Like you can check the water very clearly. In soil, you can test the soil for its nutrients, but many times you don't know what is under the soil. Okay, what kind of other things are getting germinated which can be not good for your plant and which can lead to diseases. So I hope I have given the answer to your second part of the question. Now coming to the first part of the question. If you research on hydroponics, you will see people have grown all kinds of veggies and produces using hydroponics method. What kind of plant you can grow and what level of plant you can grow in hydroponics all depends upon what is the magnitude of your hydroponics system. Like there are commercial systems and there are household systems also. Now at household systems, you cannot grow things which you will not be able to sustain with the resources that you have at home. At the most, the household systems that we have in India are PVC pipe based vertical systems. Now PVC pipe based vertical system have a limitation, or a tray based systems. Again, the tray is flatter. At the most, how much depth it will give to the roots. The PVC pipe also is not that bigger in size. So at home you can grow medium size produces, whereas if you have commercialized hydroponics in big way, which will be there in our second part of the session, you will see that almost most of the kinds of rare produces have also been experimented in hydroponics and people are getting successful to it. Next. Nehaji, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we can proceed with the session, second part of
Okay.
the session, and then we
Thank
will
you.
invite the questions.
Thank
Right,
you.
sir.
Thank you. So now let's come to the next part. I know it's already 1:30. I'll take 10 minutes. 1:45, sorry. I'll take 10 minutes. So why hydroponics? Many of you must be thinking, and there is a question also, what is the benefit of hydroponics? How is it better than the normal farming method? So let us see that. First of all, what are individual benefits of hydroponics for you? And why just hydroponics? I would say growing your own food, and hydroponics is the most easiest and cost effective method that you can use. One is you learn something new. You learn to grow food and you learn something new. It only builds your own skills, and no skill in this world will ever go waste, because life is so amazing that you never know what did you learn somewhere which comes to your rescue or which comes to your benefits, during the course of life. So learning new things is always a good habit. Second most effective and most best part of hydroponics is it ensures increased quality, because the medium of growth is always under your control. You can always keep a tab of it. You can always ensure what are you using as seeds, how is the quality of water, what is the, what kind of surroundings you are growing the plants in. The speed is much faster than the normal agricultural methods which use soil. In some cases, plants in hydroponics, they grow even 50% faster than the normal method that you use in soil. Results are very good and the cost is very low. Say for example, today go to the why go to the market? Take your phone and try out what is the cost of coriander in the market, what is the cost of methi in the market, whatever you use every day in kitchen. Please start understanding the cost of it in the market today, and look at the kind of investment you need for hydroponics. A seed container, a water container, and seeds. Sunlight is free. So is this a very big investment? If you go and do farming in the land, in the farmlands, first of all, you need farmland. So you can understand, if you don't own a farmland, what is the cost that is involved into it. Then you need fertilizers over there. I mean, my common sense says that this method is much more cost effective than the conventional methods, because it involves very minimum investments. The third benefit that I get out of it is, and I will recommend, please search in, if you don't grow your own food, for example, if you don't have a kitchen garden, please try to see if your friends have it, and please taste the food that is grown at their place, and please taste the food that you have from the market. There is altogether a big difference between the taste, and even your stomach is able to digest it very easily. I have seen it when I grew my own kitchen garden. I have almost stopped 80% of purchases out of market, because I can grow now most of those things in my own garden itself. And one of the best things that I have seen is you can digest the food very easily in comparison to the market food. And you know what you have grown. You can trust your own produce. You don't know what is there in the market. Why is it shining so much? Whether it is a kind of a solution that has been put on the apples or the say tomatoes or the brinjals, and that is why they are shining, or it is natural. So you have no guarantee of the market food as of now. The fourth most important thing that happens to you is you start valuing food. When you grow something, when you create something, irrespective of how good, wonderful, big or small you do, you value your own creations. Today in this world, there is a large chunk of the population which does not have food to eat. And if we look at ourselves, we are so blessed that we have food at our disposal. बहुत सारे घर में तो ऐसा भी होगा, मम्मी आपके पीछे खाना लेके घूम रही होगी कि बेटा खा ले, और आप you don't want to have it. And imagine the poor people, they don't have even, a single meal sometimes in a day. So you start valuing your own creation, and that is why I recommend that you should try growing your own food. And this is the easiest method to do that. You don't need space, you don't need big investments, you don't need much of the time. You just need patience and bit of energy level to take care of the things. Ultimately, all these things make you more humble. Students, if you want to be successful in life, your talent, your knowledge, everything is one part of it that will ensure that you succeed. But if you have a wrong attitude, if you have a negative attitude, for example, arrogance, or for example, overconfidence, or for example, I know everything kind of thought, believe me, after some time, you will not be able to stand in the, in the fight of the life. Because neither you will have a team with you because of your attitude, neither you will have that kind of resources and opportunities with you, because your attitude acts like either a magnet or a fire. Either you can burn your opportunities, either you can burn your relations out of your wrong attitude, or either your attitude like humbleness can make you popular. People will come to you, people will extend resources to you if you have the right kind of attitude. So if you want to be successful in life, knowledge can be imparted, skill can be developed, but an attitude is entirely the responsibility of the person. Only he or she can work upon it. Nobody else can help you out in that. We can only advise you. It is all up to you what kind of person you want to be recognized as. So just see the way I have linked hydroponics with history, geography, science, and finally with you, with the most important part of your life, the personality that you carry. So this is the reason why, not just to save money, not just to eat good food, but to learn new things, to value food, to become a better person, you must once try hydroponics. Okay? Now let's come to whether this can be made a profession. Because if you remember, I had asked you, how many of you would like to become farmers? We all want food, but we don't want to grow food. So who will grow food for us then?
So may I answer this?
Yeah, just hold on. I want to give you certain examples, and then we will have a discussion on it. Okay. So hydroponic farming is a serious business in India, and I have brought to you certain examples which I would recommend all of you, especially students, to go and visit the websites of these companies. How have they started? What kind of leaders have started them? How educated they are? Because in this country, we feel that farmers are illiterates, farmers are poor, farmers are, they are altogether a different class. Okay. But we want them to grow food, and we want to, have their grown food on our tables. So Aqua Farms is one of the companies. Rahul, he is an MSc in biotechnology and business management from United Kingdom. A person who studied in United Kingdom, come back to India, and starts a hydroponic farm. And you know how big his farm is? Just 80 square feet, probably the size of your terrace. Just 80 square feet. How many plants he grows over there? 6,000. And there is a big, you know, list of kind of plants that he grows. And the methodology that he uses is the vertical PVC hydroponic systems. Let me take you to another example that is in Goa. This company was created by a software engineer, Ajay Naik. Imagine a software engineer who spent his most of the time with computers and amazing things on the internet, starts a hydroponic farm with 150 square meters of space. And now he has expanded with 2 more farms. The reason why I'm sharing all this to you is, please don't undermine farming as a lesser activity than whatever you see around you. And there are people who are more educated than all of us who are taking up farming as a profession, and these are the wonderful examples around us. Then there is a group of doctors, I mean very highly educated, who have Urban Kisan in Hyderabad. This is a company, Urban Kisan.
Sir, are you sharing your screen with us?
Yes.
Actually, there's nothing being like.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I will share it again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope you can see now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see it.
Okay. So just let me quickly show the first 3 slides. Aqua farms, I have already spoken about it. Agritech in Goa, Urban Kisan in Hyderabad. I have very wonderful Pind Fresh in Chandigarh. This is a very interesting company. Nehaji, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay.
Sir.
Pind Fresh in Chandigarh actually started when the promoter Somvir, his father, he fell ill, and when he checked with the doctors, they told him that it is because of the pesticides that are used in vegetables that they are consuming. We all know in Punjab, it is known for its agriculture activities. However, the pesticides in India are also used to a very, very large extent. And this is an example of it, how people are falling sick. But he did not stop there. Somvir then decided to create a company which can grow healthy food. And Pind Fresh is very successful in northern India. So I would request all of you to please go through these companies' websites and learn out of their experience. They conduct classes. They provide all kind of resources also. My experience is you don't need any classes or resources. If you are sincere about gardening, you can do it simply by watching how people are doing it. Now, herein we come to the conclusion of the second part. If we are left with any questions, or if somebody would like to suggest or say something about hydroponics or the session, I'm open to it.
Sir, I have few questions.
Yeah.
Sir, plant grows hydroponically have stunned root structure, and sir, the plants which grow in soil have extensive root. Sir, so how can we sure that the little root surface area exists basically bombarded with the nutrients?
See, if you're, what are you concerned with, the nutrients or the growth of the roots?
Sir, with the both.
I think we must be more concerned about the nutrients that are supplied to the plants. Okay. Growth of the roots hydroponically is much faster than what you see in the soil. You can simply research about it. It's just a click away from your desk, your computer. I would not go too much into the technical parts, but I can vouch upon my common sense says roots grow much faster in water than they grow in soil. Okay. Second thing is coming to the nutrients part. Nutrients are naturally ensured in abundance when you use water. However, if the water quality in your area is not that good, then you can use other, you can add nutrients by way of, say, like, for example, you get organic nutrients in the market. So you can buy them. They come into the solutions also. So you can put a few drops whenever required. So I don't think that there could be any dearth of nutrients or growth of roots in hydroponic method. We have pictures that we have seen wherein the roots are, of the healthier size, well generated, and the plants also are, they have also grown healthier. So I don't think this is a issue with hydroponics.
Sir, my
I
other
would
question is,
Hardik, I would request Principal Ma'am to please call other students for the questions as well. We can ask one question at one time, children. Okay, Hardik, let's give others also chance.
Neha ma'am, I will now request uh, Yashita to come up with her question. She was asking a question earlier also. We can ask Yashita to come up.
Right, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
Sir, I want to ask that what is the success rate of hydroponics? Like, if we replace the traditional soil farming to hydroponics, will it be able to overcome the food demand of our country?
Okay, what controls the food demand of our country? What are the factors that control the food, not the demand, but let me tell you, let me ask you, what factors actually determine the growth of, agriculture produce in this country? What can be the
Suitable
factors?
physical factors.
Okay, let me help you out. First of all is the availability of land, correct? If you want to commercialize at a larger scale, you need land. Second is, even in 2020, most of the farmers in India, they are dependent on rainwater, isn't it? Do you agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Third is the seeds. After the big organizations, corporate organizations that have got into seeds business, the entire cultivation depends upon the seeds that have been used. Okay. And I can tell you there is a big fight going on between the hybrid seeds, genetically modified seeds, and the native seeds that we had. Now, the basic fight reason is that when you use the genetically modified seeds, they may give you big volumes, but many of the genetically modified seeds you cannot reproduce out of the same produce. Like, you have to go back and buy again the seeds for the next harvest. So there are many things that determine the harvest in the country on a larger scale. The biggest thing is the availability of land and water. In hydroponics, if you go through the companies that I have shared with you, all these companies are operating out of that terrace or the rooms where their owners live, and they are producing. Now, when you grow on a piece of land, you can only grow on the surface of the land, isn't it? But when you create, various vertical levels in hydroponics, you can cultivate more than one produce, one above the other, using the same space. Coming to the water need, hydroponically, water, I think probably water used in hydroponics is 60% less than what you use in the natural farming method, conventional farming method. So considering all these points, I believe that the next century would be of hydroponics. Already organizations have started getting into commercialization of hydroponics, and they are doing a good business. So slowly and steadily, I believe that hydroponics method will become a primary method of harvesting.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Malik. I have been really listening very intently. One last question from Swati, and then we will call it a session, sir. Swati, your last question, and then it will be end for the session.
Right, ma'am. Very good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
So my question is also regarding the one that Ankur asked about the diseases. So does that mean that since we are growing the crops in an isolated system, does it mean that hydroponic farming will reduce the risk of weeds and pests as well?
Can you please repeat the last sentence of your question? I didn't get it.
Since we are growing the crops in an isolated area, does that mean that the crops are less vulnerable to pests and weeds as well?
Okay. First of all, we are not growing hydroponically in isolated areas. Your terrace is not an isolated area. Usually, it is open to all kinds of people and species around. Second is, if you grow in your balcony, again it is not an isolated area. So most of the hydroponics goes on around us. Coming to diseases, as I spoke about it initially, my common sense says diseases are caused either by soil or either by the inputs that you give to the plants or the surrounding in which the plant is. Okay. So I believe the most best environment that we can give to a plant is either inside our home, I mean, say our balcony or our terrace or our inside in-house, because we ensure that the surroundings are clean. We ensure that the air is also good, because usually if you see, when you are outside and when you are inside your house, there is a difference between the quality of the air. So diseases, one, are reduced because we don't use soil. So when you use water, you can always ensure the quality of the water that you are using. Second, the surroundings are clean and clear. Third, if you don't use insecticides and pesticides to a large extent, and other such ingredients that can actually lead to plant having some kind of infections, like I have seen many a times people use too much of pesticides, or they use too much of manure, which actually kills the plant. So if you keep the conditions under control, I believe your plant will always be a healthy plant. Your produce will always be a good one, which uh, under a house can easily be ensured. In a farm, it's a bit difficult because it's open and there are factors which are not under your control. But if you are doing it at your house, it can definitely be ensured. That I believe.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Neha?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
I think if children have more questions, we can just take the questions later and then we can probably call sir some other time.
Yes.
But today, I think it has been a very humongous session for sir, and sir has been, taking the session with us for a long time now. And so maybe some other time we can ask children to come up with their questions and we can compile the questions, because they have been asking questions. That means they are showing interest in the topic.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
maybe we can
you are
compile.
right.
Yes, sir. Maybe we can compile the questions and
Definitely,
call you
definitely,
online some other day.
definitely. But I have a message.
Yes, please.
My intent of answering your questions is to give you to encourage you to go back and do some research. And I would like all students, when you have a question, one thing that is very easily we all can do is to ask somebody, and that we should do definitely. But the second thing is that we must definitely research on that topic. Okay. And I can advise you certain websites. One is Instructable, wherein people have shared their experiences, and there are wonderful insights even on hydroponics. And I believe we all should uh, read a bit about it. And I am sure most of your questions will definitely be answered on these forums. Thanks to Google, it is just a click away. Otherwise, I am always available. You can write to me. Uh, you can contact me. Most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Malik, for such a wonderful, captivating session, which not only tells us about hydroponics, but also tells about the attitudes and values which we must possess. And I think plants teach us a lot of patience, which has so well been expressed from your session. And I must say that I must compliment you rather for a lot of patience that you have shown with children to answer each and every question so patiently. My thanks to you for sparing your valuable time to be with us, and I'm sure we can compile certain questions, and maybe some other day we can also meet you online again. Thank you so much, sir.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We are just ending the session now. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, children.
Ma'am, thank you, sir.
Thank you, children, for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Please leave the meeting now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
bye.
Thank you, everybody. Please leave the meeting now. Students, please leave the meeting now, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Please leave the meeting now. I request students and teachers to please leave the meeting now. Thank you, everybody.